Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Welcome everybody back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I am your host Adam Cousins, and it's the last episode of NWA Powerrr of the season review. And of course, that means only one thing: my illustrious, glamorous Debbie McGee kind of co-host, maybe not. Fiona Loughran's here. Fiona, how are you doing?
I am a little bit stressed today, but all good. How are you?
Yeah, good day. Good. Well, yeah, good day. All is well in this household anyway, at least, which is the main thing. We finished Powerrr on a tag team night.
Oh, so good.
It
I love my tag team wrestling, so I was buzzing for this show last night.
it was great, a great end to Powerrr. What has been a great season of Powerrr. So many changes.
It really has. There's been lots of talk online on the Discord and on like the communities and stuff on X or Twitter or whatever it's called these days. Loads of real positivity about this season. So yeah, it's been fab.
And next season, they could have the TV deal in place. We don't know yet, not confirmed, but apparently CW are picking up two types of NWA programming, one being Powerrr and the second one being a reality show based on the behind the scenes stuff of Powerrr. Yet to be confirmed, but exciting times, Fiona.
Indeed, indeed, I am a happy fee.
You are a happy fee. Anyway, let's get into it. The Powerrr episode was called See You in Hell because obviously Samhain is Saturday. We're going to be doing a preview show with Chris Silvio shortly as well to cover all that off. But anyway, the opening this week was all about BFT, Murdoch Knox, and Aaron Stevens talking
Well
about.
remembered.
Good notes, Fee. Right in front of me today instead of on my screen. BFT, yeah, Aaron and Murdoch and Knox, they're really building up that feud for the Knights of the Round Table tables match on Saturday, and they'll be in action in a bit later on the show. Danny Dills and Joe Garley on commentary as usual for this season. And we kicked off with the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, EC3, and Jordan Clearwater against, I believe it's right, Cal Hero and Luscious Lawrence.
Yep, two brand new faces for me. Cal Hero, I have heard of. He's been around on social media for a long time. I think it's potentially his dad randomly that I follow that was involved with various people in wrestling. So Cal's kind of grown up, and I actually genuinely didn't recognise him at first when he came out. But yeah, good to see some new faces, particularly this far into the season at the finale. It's nice to see some new faces pop up.
It was Cal wearing the fanny pack, as Danny Dills
Yeah.
referring to.
What I just want to point out, it was weird at the start because normally like you would get an introduction. There was no real introduction to the two of them, which I actually thought was a bit of a shame because it was, if you weren't listening, it would be really, really hard to pick up their names. And I thought that's a shame. Like it's their first time on NWA. It would have been quite nice for them to have not necessarily an intro, but even just a wee thing on screen to say who they were. So I felt kind of bad for them on that front. So
Yeah,
sort that out for next time.
Yeah, that happened again in the main event, and because I will get into that shortly. This tag match was a lot like teacher-student with between EC3 and Clearwater. There was a lot of times where Clearwater was making what I'd call the rookie mistake, and EC3 was trying to, put him in the right direction, sort of stop celebrating and get on with it, or stop, posing and just get on with the action. It nearly cost him, funnily enough.
It did nearly cost them, yeah.
But in the end, I believe the submission is called the Purpose.
I didn't catch that. I will not argue with you on that one, though.
Yeah, you never argue with me. It's called, I believe it was called The Purpose. Obviously, they submitted an EC3 and Clearwater. It wasn't a big shock that they won, especially given it was the last episode before the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Can't have your champion going out before the pay-per-view on a loop.
That would not have been a good look on them.
But I thought the other two done really well. Be interested to see if they show up on future.
I'd quite like to see a little bit more of the two of them and see what they've got. Maybe against people who were maybe a little bit more evenly matched potentially. But yeah, I'd quite like to see the two of them again.
It was. We do, and then there was a Kobe. There was a Kobe interview. Colby, sorry, Kobe. Colby Carino is looking more like his dad. Every time I see him, I keep Steve. Every time I see him, and it was the immortal. I mean, Kobe was talking about not disappointing his son and making sure he retains the title. There was the Immortals as well, going into Samhain this weekend, and Kobe Carino defending. Is it Joe Alonso? Is it Joe Alonso?
Joe Alonso, yeah. Again, Joe and his strong social media game. Kobe's fired back a couple of good shots at him online though, so yeah.
Should be a good entertaining match of the week. It's going to be a pillar to post match.
Yeah. I don't know what. Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows?
Some of these matches we're going to be going through with Chris Silvio have got stipulations that I've never heard of in my life. And one of them gets announced during this show. We'll talk about that in a minute. Knox and Murdoch. Oh no! Before that, we did get the match.
We did get the Mortals.
The Clowns, and La Rebellion, Vampiro, and the guy from the Insane Clown Posse. What was his name?
Violent J.
Not Silent J. It's not Silent J.
Violent J.
Violent J. That's the one. You said Silent J last week. I can't do it. A riddle box match.
I'm excited. That could be literally anything.
Well, that's basically what he said. You can open a box and it can have either something great in it or something disastrous.
Three more sleeps to find out.
Do you know what the best thing was? If you haven't bought the pay-per-view yet, these matches are intriguing enough to pay the money to get the pay-per-view just to see what the hell they're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt.
It's going to be quite insane. There was a heavy-hitting tag match next.
I really liked it. I think that was probably the match that I was most looking forward to on the card last night. Again, tag team wrestling's great, but I like the flippy stuff, but I love big tag teams. And I mean physically big tag teams, big imposing tag teams. I just like I like the hard hitting stuff like that. So, and it was for big gentlemen in the ring. Let's not pretend it wasn't.
I was going to say you like big men when you were going on.
Let's not go there tonight.
We've got to go there in a minute because someone else comes up in a bit. But Knox and Murdoch with Fixers LLC. Wow, it was. I love. What do I call these? The meat slappers. It was.
I love that, please.
It was literally four big guys knocking seven bells out of each other, which is exactly what it was. Obviously, Knox and Murdoch going into Samhain. We've already mentioned it against Blunt Force Trauma in their Knights of the Round Tables match. I've got to try and get that out every time.
You're doing well.
I do well with it, yeah, and I got Samhain, managed to get Samhain right after. Although there was a couple of times on commentary.
Joe messed up big time on it last night. I popped for that, not going to lie. Sorry, Joe, but that did make me giggle.
I was like, that was me in week 1 or whenever it was. This year, or this episode was either week 1 or week 2 of NWA when I was at Samhain or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Before you kindly goodly interrupted in that sense and told me it was wrong, which was then ever since then I've been making sure I got it right. This match was heavy hitting, hard stuff. There was a miscommunication with the Fixers at the end, which cost them because it was a high-low from Knox and Murdoch, and they pick up the win. Again, not necessarily surprising. Knox and Murdoch, they kind of needed it again going into the tag title match at Samhain. But I do love these, and I'm hoping the Fixers. I'm pretty sure they've been advertised for the tapings coming up.
I'm sure they have. I like the Fixers. I met them last year. At the Crockett Cup. They were funny guys, really funny guys. And for big lads, because they are big lads, they can move. It's the same with Trevor and Mike. They are both big lads, but they can shift.
Yes, they can, and they can move for their, as you say, for their height and weight. They can definitely go. And it's not just a hard hitting one. There was some fast paced action in there when it needed to be.
Absolutely.
So more of the same for next year for them. Now, I think the next thing was a dream for Gags. I think he was dreaming at this point. He was in this weird room, and there was Gags were there. Father James Mitchell was like, "It's time to come home, and if you don't come home, we're going to basically kill you."
I know. I was a bit kind of, that's a bit harsh.
And then he had Max and that choking him, and
Yeah, so now, yeah, Max choking him, Jedias there as well. Now I'm slightly concerned for Sal, whether that is something that's going to weigh on Gags's mind and for their match at Samhain or not. I'm a little bit concerned for Sal because Sal seems to be in quite a good place at the moment. He seems to be quite happy. Yeah, I like Sal. Please don't die.
Well, their match has also been confirmed for Samhain. And I'm just going to get. I think I sent it to you, but I've got it here in front of me. I'm just going to find it.
So their match was
a Devil's Last Dance Ultimate Hardcore War.
Yeah, so you've got Sal, Gags, Colax Mana, Dax Draper, and Mims, and they're going up against Jedias, Max, Alex Misery, Jake Dumas, and Cody James. So that'll be fun and scary.
What the hell is a Devil's Last Dance Ultimate Hardcore War? It gets more and more weirder by the minute. And again, more if you wanted a reason to buy the pay-per-view for some of these matches, just go ahead and do it. Pretty Empowered was next. Kenzie, I can't remember. Kenzie,
Kylie, and Ella.
Ella, yes, that's right, against the Woad, Rufy, and Sam Starr. I put on his notes lots of arse slapping.
There was quite a bit in that, but then you've got Woad in it, who, well, yeah, you can figure out what the acronym stands for. So,
yes,
I thought it was a really good match, though. There was a couple of near falls.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times I thought, ooh, Pretty Empowered in a wee bit of trouble here, but obviously, yeah, champs be champs.
Champs be champs, but it didn't stop Roxy from coming back out and trying to get back into the group.
I felt really bad for her last night. They basically just dismissed her and laid her out, and yeah, she's lost her. What was it they said? You've lost your pretty privileges.
Yes,
which is a shame.
Well,
but then I'm sitting here going, okay, so you've done that to her, you've knocked her out, you sparked her out in the middle of the ring, you're standing with your feet on her, giving it, yeah, we're the champs. She's really upset. What does that mean at the pay-per-view? Is she going to medal?
Well, I think more the tag team than the women's title match. Maybe the tag team, but as you rightfully said, it was Code Kylie with the 1, 2, 3. But yeah, more to do with Roxy. I reckon she's going to do something at Samhain. More so, like I said before, more so for the tag team than the single, I think.
Yeah, I think, interesting. I'll be very surprised if she doesn't show up ringside for that, that's for sure.
Yeah, indeed. Rufy J was actually interviewed after that, and she was praising Kenzie a little bit, but at the same time saying that she's mean, she's wicked, but she gets the job done, but she hopes that the title reign doesn't last long.
That's it. Plenty of respect for your champ. I think going into the match, it would be remiss of her not to be respectful of her.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Kenzie's got that belt, and when you look at how she won that belt and who she beat to get it, then I think she deserves all the respect for it. So I thought that was actually quite a good wee segment with Ruthie J and Sam there.
Exactly. I agree with that. Our good mate was up next, Plunky.
Yeah. Mario Perdua, a little tag team action again, obviously.
P&P, I got it down. I can't read my own notes.
Mario Perdua and Plunkett, and it was against Magic Inc.
Yeah, I got that bit.
Jake Damas and Barker.
That was it, but I couldn't remember what Plunky and P had called himself. It was the P&P something. Connection. P&P Connection.
Was it? So I never caught that then. I obviously wasn't paying attention. Sorry, Plunky.
Plunky.
My bad.
Oh yeah, mate. Yeah, there was one point of Magic Inc. They kept saying about wanting to show a trick during this match, which they eventually do. But KJ sweeps the legs of, I think it was Plunky earlier on with the stick or whatever it was, and then and it was really impressive when Plunky did get the tag, because that Perdue is really good. I like him. I
like Perdue. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. Hopefully in the next season with a bit of luck.
Yeah, we do need to see more of him because he's got a good look. He works well. Ring. It was he was on it once, but I think last season he was on once as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember who he was against, but I remember him putting in a good effort there. We were praising him there. We really need to see more of this. But then, of course, he got the card across the head or the eye or whatever you want to call it. Then they hit the show over for Magic Inc. to pick up the win. Going into this, I mean, obviously, Magic Inc. we now know is with the father James Mitchell. I think he's doing that, aren't they?
They are on on the dark side for that match. So
they are indeed on the dark side, but hopefully we'll see a lot more of a play.
I'm just going to say as well, a bit of a new look for Jake Damas as well. He normally wrestles with the shirt on and stuff, so it was a bit of a new vibe for him. I actually really like watching Jake. I like I like his character. I like his swag. I think I think Magic Inc. are an interesting little group to watch for sure. And you just never can quite trust CJ. You never know what she's going to do.
No.
As you see from that match when she swiped the legs out from Funky. So.
And then just spend the rest of the time just smiling and posing.
And looking pretty, like,
looking pretty, yeah. Exactly that. And they went back to speak to Knox and Murdoch.
I love this. I love this.
It was
Mike Knox might be one of my new favourite people. He's so funny.
He is.
So funny. I'm just like, Happy Knox, slightly crazy. Trevor's coming for you, BFT, and that's all I've written.
Yeah, he was apologising to his neighbour Ken because he was saying that they didn't really know who Blunt Force Trauma was under the mask. So every person he was going to, he was beating up. So he apologised to his neighbour Ken for that. Murdoch was then saying he was going to get violent and stuff like that. And, which was quite funny, and that's how it ended. Then you get to Boo Kerry Morton.
Boo
Kerry Morton, they were basically going on about, they're just going to smash people like they always do at the pay-per-view. Billy then said Chris Adonis was a stupid son of a bitch.
And Kerry calling himself the uncrowned world's heavyweight champion. Shut up. Just get in the bin.
Get in the bin, Boo Kerry. Billy was saying that Chris was a son of a bitch and he's basically just going to leave an imprint of his boot on his ass. Now, those matches have been confirmed as well. So the Southern Six will be Kerry Morton, Alex Taylor with Ricky Morton will take on the Headbangers.
In a rock and roll tag match.
What is a rock and roll tag match?
I have no idea unless it's going to involve guitars and pianos and who knows?
And Thrillbilly Silas Mason will take on Chris Adonis in a Burning Lake brawl.
Yeah. See, now I've got visions of like an outdoor match somewhere. I'm going down the whole kind of like Impact and AEW deletion. Like I had visions of that and I'm going, there's no way NWA are going to do like something, but who knows? I quite like the idea of it.
I remember WWE a couple of years back done a swamp match with Bray Wyatt.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
But you could be right. I mean, could it be one of those, what do they call those matches? Cinematic matches, they call
That's the word.
Cinematic.
It's been a long day. I'm so sorry. I was like, my brain's just not quite functioning right now. But yeah, honestly, I have visions of that because how else can you, like, how can you call it that and there not be some sort of body of water involved in it?
A burning lake. Where are they? They Cleveland, didn't they?
Cleveland, yeah.
Any lakes in Cleveland nearby that they could?
I'm sure there probably is. I have no idea. I'm really sorry to any of our American friends watching this. My American geography is not great.
Yeah.
I just know Cleveland is in Ohio. I don't know if there's a lake up there. I'm sure there's one, at least.
EC3's from Cleveland, Ohio. And suppose was it the Miz? The Miz.
Oh, I have no idea.
I can't remember. Sorry.
Sorry, guys. That's my ignorance. I will do some geography homework for next time.
For the next season, or for Sunday when we review Sour. Yeah. The main event, well, if you call it a main event, was a 2 out of 3 full get to know the champs match. I've called this. It was BFT. Now I've got Luke Curtis was one of the names, and I've got I think
Soda Pop and K-Rocks.
There you go. See, you listen.
Soda Pop and well, I know Soda Pop. Soda Pop's been on NWA before. But I also know Soda Pop from TSW and Dallas as well, so I watched him wrestle there before as well. K-Rocks has wrestled he's had blonde hair in the past, though, so maybe you just didn't quite recognise him. But K-Rox has wrestled on quite a few seasons of Powerrr. He did wrestle when I was out last year, on the season after the Crockett Cup last year. So I've seen him a couple of times. But was it Luke Curtis? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I haven't seen, he's new. I haven't seen him before.
They didn't get much of an offense in.
They really didn't. Like, they really didn't. They just got their heads taken off. Pretty much. Lariats, boom, 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 left, right, and centre.
And Aaron Solo constantly on the microphone during.
I loved that. I thought that was such, like, because he's called it the Get to Know the Champs match. I loved the fact that he was just bigging them up the whole way through, and you could just hear him over Joe and over Danny. You could just hear Aaron just giving it Aaron. But I have literally written on here, BFT destroyed them, and that's it. That's pretty much all you need to know.
They absolutely did. BFT did destroy him. At the end of the match, Knox and Murdoch come out. Carnage ensued until Aaron Stevens got in the ring and basically said, because they was going for the high-low, and I can't remember if it was Damage or Carnage or whatever it was.
I always get them mixed up.
Yeah, me too. One of them is bigger, sort of in the waist than the other one. That doesn't mean they're fat. It's just one of them's got bigger waist. And Aaron Stevens then got in the ring and basically said, "Hit me, the title match is over," because that was a stipulation. Aaron Stevens couldn't.
Knox was close. Knox was very close. You'd see Trevor like pushing him back.
It was getting there, and that brought this season of Powerrr to at the end, which is, as we've already said, is probably one of the best seasons of Powerrr. Come out, and we want to see what's going to happen next season. We got Samhain at the weekend. I'm just going to briefly run through the 15 match card. Is
it 15?
4 pre-show matches. I've got it all in front of me here. So,
I've got it. Yeah, okay.
So we've got Jordan Clearwater and the Country Gentlemen will face Zion and the Outrunners in a 6-man tag.
Yep.
Then we have a loser leaves NWA match. Rolando Freeman will be the referee for Bradley Pierce and Rush Freeman. That's on the pre-show. A 4-way match to determine the number 1 contender for the Women's World Championship. Samantha Starr, Messiah Kate.
Missa Kate.
Sorry. Tiffany Neves and Celeste. I'm going for Sam Starr in that, but we'll talk about that on the preview with Chris Silvio. And that'll be so that whoever wins the women's title match will have them to take care of next. Then there's Daisy Kill and Talos versus the Immortals. That's for the United States Tag Team Championships. Then obviously the No Limits match, EC3 Tom Lametta. Then there's just a standard match on this show. Wow.
There's a couple of no stipulation matches,
Kenzie Page and Rufy J is just a general singles match. Kobe Carino and Joe Alonso is a pillar to post. We've got the Pretty Empowered versus Markova and Rising for the tag titles. The Knights of the Round Tables match between Brunt Force Trauma. Carnage and Damage, and Mike and Murdoch and Knox. Jax Dane versus Bulletproof Troop with Chris Silvio Esquire. I can't wait to see what he's got to say about this submissions match.
Plenty, I imagine.
Yeah, plenty. Obviously, the Brothers of Funstruction and Violet J versus Vampiro and Lara Bellion in a Riddle Box match. The Rock and Roll Tag match, Southern Six, Kerry Moore and Alex Taylor versus the Headbangers. Phil Billy, Silas Mason and Chris Adonis in a Burning Lake Brawl. The Devil's Last Dance, Ultimate Hardcore Raw War between Judas, Max the Impaler, Magic Inc., and Alex Misery, isn't it? Misery? Yeah. Misery. Against Sal, Gags, Koa, and Magnum Muscle and Mims. And finally, Matt Cardona versus TBA. What a wrestler TBA is.
That's where 15 was. I had everything except Matt Cardona down. I was like, why have you got 15?
Yeah. Challenge.
Who? Like,
he's against TBA. What a wrestler! I've never seen TBA in my life.
It doesn't leave that many people really. Like, I'm sitting going through the card and going, right, okay, who's this? Who's on the card? Who's tag teaming? Who's doing singles action? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? There's not really anyone else, is
there? CM Punk.
Like, huh?
CM Punk.
CM Punk.
It's going to be somebody.
Is that wishful thinking?
Of course it is. Of course it's wishful thinking. No, it's not wishful thinking. It's just I was trying to think of if they're going to pull a surprise in, maybe someone that's recently released or fired from where, if they're going to be bring someone new in, maybe, you know, 'cause
Yeah, I don't
TV deals,
know. But I genuinely can't think of anyone on the roster
that's why
who
I've gone
I
away.
would put on a pay-per-view who hasn't got a match.
No, Kerry Moore.
Kerry's in the tag match with Alex, so he's got that match.
Last time, didn't he? Kerry beat him. He beat Kerry.
You've got Adonis, you've got
Lammer's already in.
Latimer, you've got all your champs have already got matches.
Which makes me
That's going to bug me. I'm going to have to go and think about that now and rack my brains.
Could it be
Hopefully,
something-
it's someone new and someone random that they've maybe just brought in for a single night. But
Or it could be a brand new member of the NWA roster. That's quite a reasonable name. Who knows?
who knows? Only 3 more sleeps and we'll find out.
3 more sleeps till we find out. Fiona, we'll cover off what we're doing on the next show.
Mhm.
So we'll do that at the end of the preview show with Chris Silvio
Oh,
Esquire.
I'm excited to speak to him.
I'm excited to speak to him. So we'll leave that there for now. But guys, we'll be back. Well, we will be back with Chris Silvio Esquire doing the Samhain preview show very, very shortly. She has been the wonderful Fiona Loughran. We will probably be having a few weeks off while Powerrr takes a break, unless any NWA wrestlers want to come on. Definitely next week, because I will be in a different country. I will be in Madrid. Yeah, for a few days, so I will not be here. But Powerrr, luckily enough, Powerrr was going to be not going to be on for in a couple of weeks anyway, so we don't miss anything really. We will review Samhain before I go on holiday, so we'll be all up to date with NWA before I go away. But until until we speak to Chris Silvio, she has been Fiona Loughran. I have been Adam Cousins. This has been the last in the series or the season of the NWA Powerrr Review. And until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe.